think I'm being advertised to. That's weird. I think I also missed the first time login video thing that started playing. That's something. Advertising. That's not what I want to start with. I'll figure that out later then. Don't know what that means, but okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, apparently you're not allowed to create your own character. You're given a selection of pre-mades, and then you have to choose one of those. I have no idea. This reminds me a lot of the Xbox 360 avatar creator situation, where they would start you off with a bunch of one set, and then you would just have to start from one of those. I think the same thing happened with the ones on Xbox One. But yeah, those were designed by Rareware as well. So getting a really good read on these characters and how they would be. These are quite old. If that's a thing that you can mess with. Some of them are also quite male. You'd think you would at least be able to narrow it down by that. So this is either going to take me a really long time to get through the character creator or no time. I do like the extensive variety of body types, but getting something very specific seems like it will be very hard. And about the only control I seem to have is that I can favorite ones to keep in the rotation. Oh, standing on the cannonballs. I was like, what is going on here? I'm guessing the hair colors will change. It was explained to me that they literally couldn't have a character creator with full control for the players, or else everyone would just make Jack Sparrow. Which, people could technically do whatever they want. And I would just make fun of people who have the same exact design, coincidentally. But I wouldn't do that. That would be unkind. I mean, like, I get the ideas that you're just supposed to take something that looks good and just roll with it, but these, the people who implemented this system just don't understand that I spent a very long time in character creators. Some say I'm still creating my character in Street Fighter 6 to this day. So I'm guessing the clothing is all going to be subject to change regardless. But I'm also assuming the hair color, because most of these hair colors are one tone. So, well, more or less one tone. There's old people hair, occasionally a redhead, but mostly black to brown continuum. So I'm guessing the hairstyle and the clothes will change, because this is a online multiplayer thingy with, as we've seen, heavy cosmetic slant. But guessing anything else will just not change. Like, I'm also looking at physique and facial structure, which, it's gonna be tricky. I also can't really see, this game loaded up in 720p, and I don't have any access to like a menu to change that, so I can't really see much of the facial detail. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. I'm basically playing a slot machine version of Character Creator. I see something I even slightly like. I can lock them in. Yeah, I wonder if the teeth missing is also a factor I'm gonna need to figure out. Are those... I can't tell if that's like a polygon error. I guess it's tattoos because the arm tattoos are more prominent. I'm guessing tattoos can be changed, because that's a cosmetic. It's totally how tattoos work. I'm not sure if I should stay in the darkness this whole time, because this could be a long time. I haven't created my character, so... so far is the least far off, but also, you know, I don't tan nearly that well. I can't pull that off. My two skin colors are super pale or super red, depending on my contact with solar radiation. Just does not go well. So that's my real reason for not being a pirate in real life. I would not be able to avoid burning to death. Like, that is really impressive, the amount of like variance in musculature and such, and just, you know, general shape. And they're not like, oh, well, all the women are sexy and all the men can look weird. So I'm impressed, at least that far. That said, the sheer number of variances means that my odds of finding something that's not the least one to favorite. Okay, so I can lock that one in. Let's see what else we can get. See, unfortunately, this means I get one less randomly decided variance. See, her hairstyle could change, but she is even more of a toothpick than I am. And that's saying something. I'm super self-conscious about some things, and that is a bit further. Oh, as I was saying, this will either take way longer or way shorter. We'll find out. I mean, it is easy to dismiss many of them because they have a Y chromosome present, and being extremely bigoted towards that genotypic anomaly. I don't know. Since I've got time to ponder it, I don't know how important immersion is to everyone by like having a character that they can, I don't know, is it relating? I guess insert yourself into that role visually. I know some people are just fine with it being totally different, and that's definitely probably the easier way to do this, but I don't know. I want to be a pirate. I don't want to play as a pirate. I want to be a pirate, and they don't want me to be a pirate. I'm sure even the hairstyle is subject to change, so I'm trying to base it on facial structure. See, like this one's a little too field of what I'm looking for. What the mirror on the wall is looking for. Also, some of these poses make it difficult to make out. And I have to like decide among the ones that seem vaguely big. Not sure what the like centrality of the like facial structure is, but like this one seems a bit different. I'm objectifying these descendants of the 360 avatar people. That is an intriguing grandma. Oh man, I wonder if the voice clips are anything but placeholders and just everybody gets the same for persuasion. This kind of reminds me how people determined that Breath of the Wild people are basically Mii's with their particulars stylized to match the setting, which is really cool. This reminds me of avatars stylized to fit a... I mean, they're already pretty stylized, and this is taking it in a whole extra dimension to make them to swashbuckling adventurers. Yeah, we've only really been at this for about 10 minutes. It feels longer. Now I have to start comparing faces. See, that one's a bit pointier than I'd like. This one is really narrow, but somehow feels less pointy. I guess it's in the chin. I don't know. It's subtle. I am technically an artist, so I am super good at describing everything. That's a little less pointy, but still super toothpicky. I'm gonna put her in the rotation just to... Guessing the hairstyles are of a very limited range that they're generating into. I wonder if the colors are set to the hairstyle that shows up. Well, no, that looks like the same one, but a different style or a different color. Yeah, she's actually pretty beefy despite her really gaunt facial features. If I was to be super toothpicky, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. What if the jacket comes with the character, or these are just to sort of show off the features? I feel like this one is closer than this one to what I'm looking for, but I'll keep re-rolling with both of them just to have a point of comparison. It is nice that more than half of them are just like, nope, moving on, which is not productive, but it is a useful way to just know that you keep going. Yeah, I don't know that I can change the skin tone. It makes it sound terrible when I say that. But again, I can't change that about myself, and this is supposed to be my attempts in supreme vain, at supreme vanity. You kind of like the sort of guy brushiness of this interpretation of myself. Although this is still less creepy than like the 3DS and the Wii U have like the camera function in their meme makers where like, oh, just take a picture of yourself and we'll generate what we think that looks like, which is very strange sometimes. I feel like I've gotten different results based on the lighting before I gave up in abject terror. I'm like, this is what Nintendo thinks I look like. I don't want to be part of that world. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with something closer to this. Yeah, she's actually pretty jacked, especially around the midsection for like her musculature. At least from what little you can tell through this whatever. I guess it's a dress. Her legs are definitely a little more spindly than her arms, so let's see. Less spindly, but kind of round. I am personally not that round in the face, but that's cool. This feels like it's less okay the more and more I objectify and dismiss these purely digital women. Well, we got plenty of ladies that time, but they're running different sort of gamut. Yeah, I also don't know if like elderly is a factor that just sticks with the design. Some of these poses are not extremely useful for viewing all the details. Yeah, I don't think missing teeth is something I'm going for here either. No offense to all the pirates with the poor dental plans. Still a very fascinating. Do I even call this a character creator? I think that would be a bit disingenuous. You know what these people remind me of too is the old like rock band avatars. But I'm pretty sure you got to control those. Having never actually owned Guitar Hero to make one for my own. She is very pointy. And I wonder how much of the blouse gives her like the illusion of beefier arms. I like that she's not a complete toothpick, but we're being honest. That's my number. They've got me on that one. I don't know how far on the toothpick scale of rareware people I would go. Yeah, some of them you just get to see like there's nothing to the imagination versus I don't know. Also, it's hard to see through her musical instrument. Although, let's be fair, that's also why my first stab at self-referential character design used the jacket, because I wasn't willing to catalog my physique to that extreme of a detail. But, you know, as you do more, you get more comfortable. At least I think I have. It's a good exercise for growing more comfortable with yourself for those who may have issues. And I think everyone does. So I don't mean to say it that way. I have many. I'm not going to catalog them at the moment, but I don't know. The weird thing is that I do not enjoy mirrors. Like, they are very necessary for, you know, many things about getting ready every day. I find them weird. They kind of freak me out. And the same with photographs, but since they're not moving and, you know, copying my every, I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm digging myself in a weird hole here. Like, no, that's insane. You are insane in a way that no one else can relate to. I do like that for the most part, they have constrained, like, proportions to be within certain, like, relation to each other. Like, the thick ladies are just generally very beefy in their way, so it's not like, oh, well, most character creators that have like, oh, well, this is the fan service, and these are the men. And like, yeah, like she's very lean, but she's got some muscle on her, so everything else just sort of fits. I'm a little surprised the detail in like the way that these characters are built at their like waists into their hips. I wasn't necessarily expecting a lot of like stark delineation, but the style really makes it pop, which is kind of impressive for a. Just say that because of the avatars on Xbox, my expectations are shifted way low. So I'm reasonably not upset with the artistic design going on here. Right, what was I looking at? Yeah, I kind of like this physique, but I want to put one of these. I want to put her face or something similar to it on this body. So that's cool. I'm feeling creepy about it again, and it's all about me. So it's self-directed creepiness. I think I might just let this one go because this one feels a lot more right overall, and what I'm seeing is generally not making this one feel super unique and special, so I'm going to let her re-enter the randomness and get more random choices. Watch this go on for like another 10-20 minutes and I still just come back to this one. I should really just go with this one. This is pretty like close to what I'm going for, although it is expressed in a couple ways that I wouldn't have expected. But yeah, to go back to the way like actual humans' bodies are, like if you were this lean, yeah, your chest wouldn't be like massive. To get the large chest that most people have for like fan service purposes, you would need more of a general physique that would support it instead of like being a toothpick that would blow over as soon as a stiff wind hits you or gravity finally asserts itself. So the range of expression and the, I don't want to say realism because these are very stylized characters, but like they really reined it in to like a reasonable spectrum of possibilities. As if I was a pirate, my defining trait wouldn't be a beard or anything. It would be the fact that I'm always sunburned. I do not want to think about what kind of ill-fated pirate names that would give. This is what happens when I look at all these. That's not a bad-looking physique, but the jawline is a bit off from what I'm looking for. Although that's a little more human. He's looking a bit like a zombie or some kind of an undead creature that is imitating humanity. It's kind of hard to figure out the full physique from this, but the hairstyle obviously need to change. I'm trying to focus on like the nose and the face. Because it looks like, yeah, the blouse is puffing out a little bit, but you can also read the internal like skeletal structure and what I'm assuming to be musculature based on the less attired alternative looks. So I'm probably going to put her in the consideration lineup just so that I might choose to change her hair and stuff to be more my style, but I'm pretty sure the hair and certain other details will be negotiable. And be a little less ghoulish than what we've got here. Although she does seem pretty unique among all these options. I might want to keep her just because she's very different. She's very off-center. A stylized and cartoonish interpretation that I'm kind of partial to conceptually. That's a bit more hourglass than I was expecting. I'm also, yes, very much just sort of objectifying these virtual women and the men. But, you know, mostly the men are like, no, man, get out of here. I don't think that sounds... You should take that out of context. Definitely something that I wish to have associated with me by proxy in any situation. Okay, so she's kind of similar to this in physique. I'm also still stuck. Oh, look at her feet though. Like, she really will fall over, even more than my ghoulish one. So there's no telling what she looks like underneath the skirt. Thank our lucky stars that we have that point of comparison under the. It's like a. What is that? It's not a guitar. It's not a. Reminds me more of a jack-in-the-box than an instrument. It's an instrument-shaped jack-in-the-box. The shoulder and hip ratio on that one is interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to hell. I'm going to virtual hell for everything that I'm saying about all of these four randomly generated pirate folk. Wenches. The wenches especially. Yeah, I don't know if this is better or worse, given how long I spent in the Street Fighter 6 character creator and never actually felt like I settled on something that didn't look horrifying. I don't know that this is necessarily better than that, but we will see. All we know is that I am a terrible person, no matter how much control I'm given over these processes. You know, it makes me wonder, like, several of these have what it appears to be, like, eyeshadow, lipstick. I would assume that too is customizable, but I mean, those are things that the men don't need to worry about, so why would they make that a feature? That right there is some life goals. I don't know what I mean exactly because these are all the same cut of character. It's just the proportions. I just projected onto her some fitness routine. It does not have anything to do with it because it's an entirely different bone structure. Yeah, I might go with the ghoulish looking, my interpretation of like what a Monkey Island character would be in 3D as a real person, which I guess I don't have to interpret anymore. I've just never played Monkey Island or the remakes or the sequel. I've just seen things. So I'm probably still going to stick with this, and we have gone past 30 minutes of this. Well, less for the advertisement. Of course, obviously, how often are you going to look at these interesting creatures up close? Most of your presentation will be in your attire. So maybe I'm overthinking it. So really, the part that will stand out the most is if you are super, again, ghoulish. So maybe that's a good reason to just keep that and cut our losses. It's not too far off physically, I feel like, but it's hard to say what some of these with their... She's definitely, that one back there was that I've destroyed while I'm still talking about her is definitely, yeah, this is more the toothpick size that I fit, which is why this one's probably going to stick around again. Oh, okay. It was the angle of her idle pose made her look like, I don't know, a horror movie character. I feel bad. I'm going to hell again. Man, so many hells. And this is why I'm not allowed to play massively multiplayer online games, because I will just not be doing anything that I should be doing. I'm completely misusing the powers at my disposal. I'm gonna give it another 5 minutes tops before I run away from this menu forever, because it is severely starting to impact my ability to perceive reality. It is kind of important though, because like, it is the character you're going to be playing as for literal hundreds of hours, thousands of hours maybe. So it's weird that we're just leaving it to this degree of chance. Chance upon chance on chance. So yes, I was challenged that, no, you just pick one. You randomize and you pick some favorites and then move on with your life. That's an interesting smirk there. You might actually, yeah, she seems to fit better what I'm looking for than this one. This one actually seems really big. Maybe it's just the stances, really. But like, yeah, these two are very tall. I think. Hard to say. This one is closer than what this one represented, I think. So I'm gonna let you be my secondary lock-in. Yeah, you seem a little too beefy to be me, fortunately. And that's not just self-deprecation talking. She is. I mean, I'm tall, but I'm not built. That's a different thing entirely. How weird. This one might be a little bit too much of that rock band and Guitar Hero vibe. She might be on some substances that are adversely affecting her health. Am I that healthy? At least I feel like the runner-up is a closer race than before. Before I was just keeping that one on as like, oh, well, if I want to seem more like a human. Now they're both inhuman monsters that match my definition of normalcy. You might have a chance of unseating the Guitar Hero version of myself. And that's quite a skeleton. This skeleton has somehow wandered off from the haunted zone and is now pretending to be a player character. And I say that with all due love and affection because I too am. perhaps a little too describable by that. Hair color is wrong, but I'm pretty sure that will be something you can fix. He's not too tan. This one might be a little too tan. It's just hard to figure out. I could just write it off as stylization. I wish I could group them together now, but that's just the slots they showed up in. Again, I'm trying to base this on overall physical presentation and the idea that I'm probably cannot change skin tone, but can change hairstyle and hair color and tattoos. What kind of a video game would it be if tattoos were actually permanent in the absence of pirate lasers? So I've gone from one choice to 3 choices, and our deadline is fast approaching. I will definitely go over self-imposed deadline of I need to stop doing this right now before I continue questioning reality. Also, I want to take a minute and say that I am very concerned by this season 12. This game has been going on for 12 seasons. Does a season actually engender any of the FOMO that I disregard in every other game of this sort? Questions, questions, questions. I don't think I'm going to get more than 3 choices this way. It's taken almost 40 minutes to come up with 3 choices as it is. And the generation of more choices is getting slimmer because of the fewer openings. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots randomizing, so it's 8 minus the 3 that I'm keeping hostage. I'm pretty sure this is not how they intended people to play the game before even playing the game. I'm gaming the character creator. Don't know if that says more about me or the design philosophy. I feel like the design philosophy comes from a good place. Like, yeah, just make a pirate. Be some pirate. And to a degree, I do find that to be a good and idealistic philosophy in that I liked, the only thing I liked about my brief time playing Fortnite was that before you have any like skins to use as your own, every time you played, you just got a completely random seeming new person. Once you have like a visual identity, then that just sort of gets locked in and you play as that character, who is obviously not somebody created, designed, or chosen by you. It's just like, oh, that looks good. I wanna have that. And pretty sure I used, I want to say it was like a Twitch giveaway of the time. It's like, oh, well, you're on Twitch, you should be this character. And I was a little surprised that she never changed. So that was my way of finding out that the random assortment of characters that I was playing with as my original attempt to figure out if this game is a game or something I need to run away from very quickly. And then it's like, oh, that's a lot less interesting. But I guess I'm coming at that from the wrong angle because that is some jacked arms. I don't think I would want to be that ripped, but I imagine that she could hurl me like a cannonball. Alright, I think it's about time we just pick one of my ghoulish alter egos that I have discriminated against every other depiction so far to sustain. It would really help if they were right next to each other so I could compare them a little more fairly. Almost like they're telling me that I should open up like take screenshots and open them up next to each other instead of using the game interface. Yeah, if this was Switch, I would do that like in the interface. But I might have to just do that while you're looking at nothing happening. It shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna try that real quick. See if I can avoid catastrophe. As I think this is about as close to a decisive factor that I can get to. Let's see. Screen. Where did it go? There it is. Wow, I might have too many tasks open. Ban the canvas. And find the next one. Whoops. I did not do that right. Nobody has to see what I did wrong there. Get rid of this mistake of a layer. And let's see, the last one is this one, which is a bit of an outlier, but oops, I screenshotted the wrong screen. Totally reasonable. Alright, so let's see what we can look at here. Let's let ourselves look at the foolish rock band reject. And let's see. I'm gonna put her in front as like the top contender. Well, the screenshot I took doesn't have her in a very easily digestible angle. The other two got some good action poses. Alright, let me just be more careful when I do the freeze frame then. Let's see. There we go. Oops, hold on. I can get a better one than that. Her gyrations are regular and rhythmical. Like she knows how to play instruments. And let's see. That's definitely a better angle to look at. Fortunately, the way she's sort of hunched over the instrument makes it harder to size up at a glance. I feel like the one in the blouse is out of the running. It's the Hammer Chan who's trying to compete for pure physique and facial structure versus Ghoul. Which again, they'll both be very striking visuals. Might stick with the Hammer one on the grounds that I know more of what I'm getting. She's exemplifying the sort of toothpick phenomenon. Where are you? Let's get you moving around a little bit so I can compare. I will have to change the hair color. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns that come with the ghoulish one. As much as I enjoyed having her here through this journey, it does feel pretty right though. This is a tough choice. But here, as we encroach upon the near 50th minute, well, it's more like 45 minutes, of me standing in the darkness judging people like a weirdo. Judging people that don't even exist. I haven't even begun to learn how to play the game. kind of hard to get a read on certain elements. Yeah, I think she's a little too normal. The one with the blouse. She's it's too normal to be me. I'm not that normal. This one feels something like when I'm doing my figure studies, when I'm doing egregious amounts of let's just say fan art. Whatever those sketch pads are, they're not healthy, or are they? This one feels like what I would have done before I started putting the pieces together and figuring out what I'm doing right and wrong. Mostly wrong. Do like the ghoulishness, but I don't think that's enough. I think this is just a sturdier foundation to build on, because obviously everything is going to change except for things that may not be changeable. Of course, this one captures the paleness. This one's a little too comfortable in the sun, which I don't know if I can change or burn away to become sun blister. Sea of sun blisters. She's also tall. Well, maybe. She's kind of... Yeah, this one's a bit short. I am aware of the irony of basing my identity around one of anime's greatest short stacks. But there is some truth in the pre-growth spurts perception of reality. I may have had an inferiority complex at one point. I don't know. It's been sucked into my deepest, darkest subconscious corners. So there's that. Yeah, I feel like there's just something even more off than I was going for here. It would be nice if I could see more around. I think I'll just stick with this as a pirate Sona to be customized a little better. Who is that standing in the doorway back there? Really, I'm looking at people in the background that I hadn't noticed before. Yeah, I think I'll start with this after pretty much 50 minutes of this, minus the advertisement at the start. I swear there was a video that started playing, but I didn't want to capture the session where I entered my Microsoft account credentials and stuff, even though that popped up in a separate window, so I don't think it would have been showing. I wanted to make sure that I couldn't get to some video options. It'd be really nice not to play this part of the game in 720p, but that's fine. It is what it is. I know that it's not limited to that because this is a PC game. It'd be insane if it was. I just don't like games that load up with a title screen and we're going to start the game and we're going to give you the video options later after you've played the opening impression of the game, which will be something that you have to do in crummy video quality depending on whatever they thought was the prefab configuration. I'm reminded of Nier Automata, where the brightness setting is made into a character defining, not defining, but part of your characterization of your support character is walk through the options. And one of your options is whether or not you're allowed to self-destruct. So, but having to play without access to the brightness slider in the game is kind of weird. I think you can go into that option by pausing, but I don't know. I don't think I actually did that. Let's find out. Alright, but let's say goodbye to you. Unfavorite. Oh, I pressed the tilde key. And you will remain favorite in my heart, but I think I will go with something that may be more long-term sustainable as a foundation to build myself back up to reality. This is the reality. Are you sure? Yeah, I don't know. Let me take another 50 minutes to figure this out. Oh, it's a shovel. I thought it was a hammer. Oh, she's so happy that she won.